Mo Hammond Media, celebrating music history's milestones.
Essential hip-hop definitely going down. You gotta check me out in there. I'm gonna show you some of the flavor I put out all the time, baby.
Music is the universal language of the world. It's the soundtrack of our lives, and it connects the human family more than any other art form on the planet. Growing up in the 80s, I fell in love with hip-hop, and I remember the first time that me and my homeboys heard Run-DMC, it blew our mind. It was the music of our generation. It was street music. It was rebel music. It was our music. We saw hip-hop at its inception. We saw hip-hop at its happiest. We saw hip-hop at its saddest. We saw hip-hop at its most intelligent. And we saw hip-hop at its most shocking. We watched hip-hop grow up and become both constructive and destructive. And it's funny, because many of hip-hop's earliest critics dismissed the oncoming craze as just a passing fad. But common sense should have told them that hip-hop wasn't only here to stay, but here to take over the world.
Welcome to the 50 most essential hip-hop albums of all time, a 30-year celebration of hip-hop music. I'm your host, Mo Hammond, and today we will be commemorating 50 benchmark albums in the history of hip-hop music. We'll take a look into the genius minds of such icons as Jay-Z, Tupac Shakur, the notorious b.i.g, Missy Elliott, and Eminem. But before we get into the list, let's take a brief look into the past.
Africa, the motherland.
Hip-hop's roots can be traced all the way back to the shores of West Africa, when African people were brought to America for the use of slavery. Our ancestors introduced new scales, drum rhythms, time signatures, and vocal techniques that would become the foundation for nearly every musical form that is indigenous to the United States, including gospel, blues, jazz, soul, and rock and roll. And traces of hip-hop can be heard in all of those styles, especially rock and roll. For instance, rock and roll pioneer Louis Jordan is widely regarded as one of the first people to record a rap song with the 1946 classic, Beware, Brother, Beware.
Now, fellas, you see these girls with these fine diamonds and fox furs and fine clothes? Well, Jack, they're looking for a husband. And you're looking at a man who knows. Get them hooked. They ain't fooling. If you fool around with them, you're going to get yourself a schooling. If she saves your dough and won't go to a show, beware, brother. Beware. Beware. If she's easy to kiss and never resists, beware. Be careful, I'm telling you. And when you go for a walk, if she just listens while you talk, she's fixing to hook you, man. She's fixing to hook you.
Fresh.
Muhammad Ali.
One of the first rappers ever, the greatest of all times, Muhammad Ali.
Need a going around saying that he's a championship fighter, but when he meets me, he'll fall 20 pounds lighter. He thinks that he's the real heavyweight champ, but after I'm finished, he'll just be a tramp. Now, I'm not saying this just to be funny, but I'm fighting Ernie because he needs the money. I decided to let him make a little bread, but the catch is I must whip his head.
Roosevelt Franklin.
For 40 years, Sesame Street has been the most popular children's educational series on television. The show starred many great characters, like Big Bird, Oscar the Grouch, Grover, the Cookie Monster, and Bert and Ernie. But none of them were nearly as cool as the legendary Roosevelt Franklin. Roosevelt was played by the late, great Matt Gordon Robinson in the early 1970s, and he was one of the pioneering voices in the history of rap.
Now, look at these pictures. Don't leave your seat. And hard-head Henry Harris, give me a beat. That's me. Check out this beat. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Over in the doghouse, there was a bone. Big old bone in the doghouse. The bone was sitting there all alone. All alone in the doghouse. Two little dogs had come out to play. Hadn't had a thing to eat all day. If only those two little doggies had known what we know about that bone. A big old bone in the doghouse.
DJ Kool Herc.
DJ Kool Herc is the godfather of hip-hop and an inventor of beat break DJing. He was born Clive Campbell, April 16, 1955, on the island of Jamaica. He relocated to the Bronx, New York at age 12, and by 18, he was using his groundbreaking turntable techniques to help create the blueprint for hip-hop music. DJ Kool Herc played his first house party at 1520 Sedgwick Avenue in the Bronx, New York.
We salute DJ Kool Herc, hip-hop's first DJ. So, who was hip-hop's first MC?
Hip-hop's first MC was the legendary Proto-rap.
Proto-rap began rapping over DJ Kool Herc's breakbeats in 1974.
What is the most important hip-hop movie ever filmed?
Wild Style is the most important movie ever made about hip-hop. It was written and directed by Charlie Ahern, and its soundtrack was produced by legendary hip-hop ambassador Fab Five Freddy, along with Chris Stein of the legendary New York rock band Blondie.
Wild Style is the film that introduced the 4 elements of hip-hop culture. Those 4 elements are graffiti writing, DJing,
breakdancing, and most importantly of all, rap.
Hip-hop pioneers, Double Trouble, were a big influence on groundbreaking groups like Run-DMC and Houdini. Here is groundbreaking video footage of the pioneering hip-hop groups Cold Crush Brothers and Fantastic Five in a classic 1983 rap battle. Grandmaster Caz was the greatest MC prior to hip-hop being commercially recorded.
Although he was never credited, Grandmaster Caz was one of the writers on hip-hop's first single, Rapper's Delight.
We salute the star of the movie Wild Style, the chief rocker, Busy B.
Busy B is a musical visionary and a living icon. He is one of the handful of people most responsible for the birth of hip-hop music.
What inspired you to start rapping?
Melly Mel started me. I watched Melly Mel and Kid Creole with the Grandmaster Flash.
They were part of the first five? Absolutely.
Right, so like in 77, I believe it was.
Wow.
When Flash was playing on the streets of Union Avenue. and the system out in the street, and Melly Mel have a mic and his brother have a mic on one side and he'd be on the other side, and they was going back and forth on the microphone just talking.
Right.
And that was like, I was like, wow, I could do that.
Tell me, what would I see if I walked into places like the T Connection and the Ecstasy Garage?
You'll see a bunch of urban people gathered in one place, enjoying themselves, breakdancing, partying, drinking, and little Hawaiian punching. And it was a culture. It was about peace, love, unity, and having fun. That's what the culture of hip hop is. It's rap is something we do.
Right.
But hip hop is something
we live. The story is quite legendary about how you met Mr. Charlie Ahern, who is the director and the producer of the movie Wild Styles.
The first thing that we did was together we went up to this jam that was happening at night in this park in the Bronx called the Valley. And I was standing next to this guy who I later found out was the chief rocker Busy B, and he thought I was a cop and he had a lit joint in his hand. I said, I'm Charlie Ahern and I'm looking to make a movie here about this rap scene. And he takes me by the hand and he leads me out in front of this audience and he puts one arm around my shoulder and he says, this here's Charlie Ahern. He's my film producer and we're making a movie about the rap scene.
So you guys have been to Japan, correct?
Oh yeah, we've been all. Matter of fact, when I leave this interview,
you're on your way to Germany.
I'm on my way to Germany.
Right.
Stuttgart, Berlin. I've been on tour with BDP, my brother KRS-One.
Absolutely.
So I've been
brother.
traveling with him. We did Rome. I mean, hip hop has took over the planet, and we haven't shot nobody. We hurt ourselves every now and then, but that's family. You hurt your brother sometime, and you be sorry, and you wake up and y'all go to the bar and drink. So that's the same thing in our culture, hip hop, and that's what it's all about. So hip hop is out there. Congratulate yourself. Shake a leg, drink something, smoke something, do what you like. Hip hop took over the planet.
If you're an MC, a DJ, a producer, or if you work in any of the countless jobs that hip hop provides annually, Wild Style was a must-see film.
Now, without any further ado, here are the 50 most essential hip-hop albums of all time.
Number 1, Sugar Hill Gang, self-titled, 1979.
The Sugar Hill Gang was the first hip-hop album ever released, and when its producer, Sylvia Robinson, launched the groundbreaking single Rapper's Delight, it catapulted hip-hop from the block parties in the Bronx, New York, to radio stations and record stores worldwide.
Number 2, Curtis Blow, self-titled, 1980.
Not only was Curtis Blow the first hip-hop album released by a solo MC, but Mercury Records also made it the first hip-hop album to come out on a major label. When this album dropped, hip-hop was still being dominated by groups like the Cold Crush Brothers, the Fantastic Freaks, Funky 4+1, and the Treacherous 3. But Curtis Blow changed all of that by proving that solo rappers were both artistically and commercially viable.
Number 3, Grandmaster Flash and the Furious 5, The Message, 1982.
The Message pushed hip-hop into the realm of socio-political awareness by addressing issues like racism, crime, inner-city poverty, and world hunger. And it's where the group's leader, Grandmaster Flash, drew the blueprint for the modern hip-hop DJ.
Number 4, Run-DMC, self-titled, 1984.
No other album has influenced the sound of hip-hop music more than Run-DMC's groundbreaking debut. Hip-hop's intelligence, hip-hop's hardcore street nature, and hip-hop's massive commercial appeal all stemmed from here. Musically, Russell Simmons and Larry Smith invented a new metal-inspired sound that predated the entire rap rock movement, and Jam Master Jay's revolutionary cuts and scratches paved the way for all future turntable geniuses, from DJ Jazzy Jeff to DJ Premier.
Number 5, The Fat Boys, self-titled, 1984.
On their debut, the Fat Boys invented the funny, self-assured rhymes that paved the way for all future hip-hop heavyweights like Biggie, Chubb Rock, Big Pun, Rick Ross, and Heavy D. And this album also introduced the groundbreaking human beatbox techniques of Darren Buffy Robinson.
Number 6, Houdini, Escape, 1984.
On Escape, Ecstasy and Jalil used thought-provoking lyrics and a no-nonsense flow to establish themselves as the most important 80s rap duo this side of Run-DMC. Their DJ, Grandmaster D, delivered arguably the most legendary turntable performance in old-school hip-hop, and Larry Smith's innovative use of the synthesizer served as a precursor to every sound from New Jack Swing to down south crunk.
Number 7, LL Cool J, Radio, 1985.
On radio, 17-year-old LL Cool J marked the birth of hip-hop's golden age with fresh new rhymes that exploded with energy and b-boy swagger. And this New York masterpiece would also serve as the inaugural album for Russell Simmons and Rick Rubin's legendary Def Jam recording label.
Number 8, African Bambaataa and the Soul Sonic Force, Planet Rock, the album, 1986.
Planet Rock, the album, helped to pioneer New York hip-hop and 80s dance music. It established Africa Bambaataa and the Soul Sonic Force as the leaders of the legendary Zulu Nation, and its positive, peaceful vibes served as a chief influence for future greats like A Tribe Called Quest, the Jungle Brothers, and Queen Latifah.
Number 9, Run-DMC, Raising Hell, 1986.
Raising Hell was the album that made the entire music industry realize that hip-hop was art and not a novelty item. And in terms of record sales, it proved that hip-hop was now a worldwide commercial success. This album captured Run-DMC and Jam Master Jay at the peak of their creative genius, and when they teamed up with rock icons Aerosmith for a remake of Walk This Way, they drew the blueprint for every rap-rock collaboration from Public Enemy and Anthrax to Jay-Z and Linkin Park.
Number 10, The Beastie Boys, License to Ill, 1986.
License to Ill was the first hip-hop masterpiece ever recorded by white artists, and its snotty, punk-influenced rhymes opened the door for countless legendary MCs, including Third Bass, Cage, Edan, and Eminem. Loved equally by both black and white fans, this album shot into the mainstream and became the first album in hip-hop history to reach the #1 position on the Billboard pop charts.
We salute all the legendary hip-hop producers worldwide for pumping out those block rockin' beats. Dr. Dre, DJ Premier, Marley Marl, Bomb Squad, Dilla, Jermaine Dupri, LP, Neptune, Timbaland, Cool and Dre, MF Doom, Scott Storch, High Tech, Ant Banks, Ninth Wonder, Beat Miners, The RZA, DJ Muggs, Buck Wild, The Runner, Alchemist, Chucky Thompson, Daz, No ID, Rick Rock, Havoc, D-Dot, Crisis, The Beatnuts.
What was the first hip-hop song ever recorded?
The first hip-hop song ever recorded was King Tim III, Personality Jock by Fatback in 1979.
King Tim 3, Personality Jock, was released on Spring Records as the B-side of You're My Candy Sweet, nearly 3 weeks before the Sugar Hill Gang's Rapper's Delight.
Happy 30th anniversary, hip-hop. Hip-hop music is classic, so in commemoration of 30 years, today we deem all hip-hop albums classic. Many people ask the question, is hip-hop dead?
Absolutely not. Hip-hop is alive and well, and it's thriving all over the world. Hip-hop lives in Dusseldorf, Germany, Sydney, Australia, Tokyo, Japan, London, England, Johannesburg, South Africa.
Hip-hop is worldwide, so let's pay homage to the classics. Run-DMC, n.w.a, Beastie Boys, David Banner, Tupac, Arrested Development, Trick Daddy, Snoop Dogg, House of Pain, Jay-Z, Mystical, The Game, EPMD, Eazy-E, King T, DMX, Busta Rhymes, The Fugees, The Notorious B.I.G, The Brat, Steady B, b.i.g, Wu-Tang Clan, Just Ice, Kool Moe Dee, Kanye West, Gangstar, Mos Def, UGK, Man Parrish, Ultramagnetic MCs, Ludacris, Eminem, Reflection Eternal, De La Soul, Dougie Fresh, Young Jeezy, Dr. Dre, MC8, Sway and Tech, T.I., E, Rob Basie, DJ Easy Rock, Young MC, Pete Rock and CL Smooth, Boogie Down Productions, Mantron, Nelly, The Roots, Outkast.
What was the first all-female hip-hop album ever recorded?
The first all-female hip-hop album ever recorded was Sugar Hill Presents The Sequence. The Sequence was a groundbreaking trio from Columbia, South Carolina, which consisted of Cheryl Cook, Gwen Chisholm, and most notable neo-soul legend Angie Stone, which back then was known as Angie B.
But even before The Sequence, there was Philadelphia's Lady B. Lady B was the first woman to record a hip-hop song with her groundbreaking 1979 single To the Beat Dog.
Also in 1979, Sharon Green, aka Shyrock, was a member of the Funky 4+1, the first rap group to sign an independent record label deal with the legendary Enjoy label.
And last but not least, we salute the group that started it all, the Mercedes Ladies.
The Mercedes Ladies invented female hip-hop in the mid-70s in the Bronx, New York. Sherry Cher is the founding member of the Mercedes Ladies and the real mother of hip-hop.
Paying homage to the hip-hop classic.
Machiavelli, Gotti, Oaktown 357, OGC, Crime Mob, Malcolm McLaren, Devin the Dude, Ludacris, Beanie Siegel, Shaq, Kaya, X-Clan, Luke Pack, Doug Pound, 8 Ball and MJG, 3-6 Mafia, The World Class Wrecking Crew, Biz Markie, Them Franchise Boys, The RZA, Rampage, Jurassic 5, Third Base, Terminator X, Dipset, 2 Live Crew, Trina, Mace, Lord Finesse and DJ Mike Smooth, Silk the Shock, Naughty by Nature, Mickey Avalon, Method Man and Redman, Dead Prez, Black Rob, Dougie Fresh and the Get Fresh Crew, Brand Newbies, Ghetto Boys, Lakim Shabazz, Bushwick Bill, Q-Tip, The Boogie Boys, Cassidy.
Sampling.
Sampling is the art of creating a new song from parts of a song that already exists. And this technique has become one of the cornerstones of hip-hop music. By far, the most sampled artist in hip-hop history is the late, great James Brown. In the 80s, artists like Public Enemy, Eric B. and Rakim, and Boogie Down Productions made his music the foundation for the gritty East Coast sound. Many would later refer to this as the boom bap sound. The second most sampled artist by hip-hop producers is Dr. Funkenstein, George Clinton, founder of Parliament Funkadelic. In the 80s and in the 90s, artists like Too Short, Ice Cube, Eazy-E, and Dr. Dre made his music the foundation for the smooth West Coast sound. Many would later refer to this sound as G-Funk. But as hip-hop grew, producers began to sample more and more of yesterday's legends. And it didn't just stop there with the soul artists. Hip-hop producers began to sample rock artists as well. For instance, Luke and the 2 Live Crew sampled Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band for their hit Band in the USA. And the Fat Boys sampled the 1962 Safaris classic Wipeout on a remake that they did with the Beach Boys. Tone Loc sampled Van Halen's Jamie's Crying for his blockbuster single Wild Thing. And Boogie Down Productions sampled Deep Purple's metal anthem Smoke on the Water for the 1988 classic You're Slippin'.
Coming up, here are albums 11 through 20. But before we get back into the list, let's pay some more homage.
Atmosphere, Pragmat, Arsonist, Binary Star, Ill Bill, The Far Eye, Low Profile, Webby, Dr. Octagon, Steady B, Mellow Man Ace, D4L, Coolio, Lil Wayne, The Dayton Family, Lord Tariq and Peter Guns, Murs, Dead Prez, Missy Elliott, MF Doom.
Number 11, Salt and Pepper, Hot, Cool, Vicious, 1986.
Hot, Cool, Vicious is the album that took female hip-hop to the mainstream, and it is arguably the most important female hip-hop album ever recorded. Led by its groundbreaking single, Push It, and its blend of sexuality and street smarts, this album proved that women MCs were just as artistically and commercially viable as their male counterparts.
Number 12, the 2 Live Crew. The 2 Live Crew is What We Are, 1986.
2 Live Crew is What We Are invented a whole new subgenre of hip-hop called Miami bass music, while simultaneously spearheading the Miami rap scene that produced legends like Rick Ross, Trina, and Trick Daddy. But it was this album's unprecedented use of sexually explicit lyrics that put 2 Live Crew on a course to become arguably the most scrutinized group in hip-hop history.
Number 13, Boogie Down Productions, Criminal Minded, 1987.
Criminal Minded was the definitive underground hip-hop masterpiece, and it's where KRS-One put himself in the discussion for most influential MC of all time. With his brutally honest lyrics, he helped to pioneer everything from gangster rap to conscious rap to hip-hop reggae fusion and battle rhymes. And BDP's producers, Scott LaRock and Ced G, were also groundbreaking for being some of the first beat makers to use James Brown samples.
Number 14, Earth B and Rakim, Paid in Full, 1987.
On Paid in Full, Rakim delivered the most innovative rap performance ever recorded. His groundbreaking use of metaphors and his uncanny sense of jazz-like timing transformed rap into a complex vocal art form. His partner, Eric B., was equally innovative as both a DJ and a producer, for he too was one of the first beat makers to introduce James Brown samples to hip-hop music.
Number 15, Ice-T, Ron Pace, 1987.
Ron Pace spearheaded the entire West Coast gangster rap movement that spawned such seminal masterpieces as n.w.a.'s Straight Outta Compton and King T's Act a Fool. This album's raw cautionary tales of sex, drugs, and LA gang violence also earned Ice-T his now infamous moniker, OG, Original Gangster.
Number 16, MC Light, Light as a Rock, 1988.
Light as a Rock was the first hip-hop masterpiece ever made by a solo female artist, and it captured a 17-year-old MC Light waging lyrical warfare on the sexist attitude that permeated old-school hip-hop. With her dynamic Brooklyn flow and her ability to speak to young inner-city women, Light paved the way for every solo female MC, from Queen Latifah to Nicki Minaj.
Number 17, Big Daddy Kane, Long Live the Kane, 1988.
On Long Live the Kane, Big Daddy Kane teamed up with visionary producer Marley Marl and delivered a lyrical masterpiece, and he proved that he was one of hip-hop's most versatile MCs by attaching his incredible flow to subjects as diverse as street life, romance, and religion.
Number 18, Public Enemy, It Takes a Nation of Millions to Hold Us Back, 1988.
It Takes a Nation of Millions to Hold Us Back is hip-hop's most important socio-political masterpiece, and it is considered by many to be the genre's all-time greatest achievement. Led by Chuck D's revolutionary rhymes and Flavor Flav's quirky sidekick humor, this album gave a voice to the voiceless, and it paved the way for such legends as Dead Prez and Immortal Technique.
Number 19, EPMD, Strictly Business, 1988.
Strictly Business was one of hip-hop's first suburban masterpieces, and it's where Eric Sermon and Parrish Smith added a new pop flavor to 80s hardcore rap. This album also established Eric and Parrish as two cutting-edge producers, for they were amongst the first beat makers to sample obscure funk legends like Marva Whitney and Tyrone Thomas, as well as classic rockers like Steve Miller and Eric Clapton.
Number 20, n.w.a, Straight Outta Compton, 1988.
Straight Outta Compton is the gangster rap album of all gangster rap albums, and its shocking stories of police brutality and LA gang life single-handedly put West Coast hip-hop on the world stage. But perhaps more important than the music itself was the fact that this album became a launching pad for the legendary solo careers of Ice Cube, Dr. Dre, Eazy-E, and MC Ren.
legendary
hip-hop producers. Diamond D, Kanye West, QD3, Soul Messiah, Warren G, Easy Mo B, The Dust Brothers, Rock Wilder, Rick Rubin, Mark the 45 King, Wyclef, Little John, Fat John, Mr. Collie Park, Q-Tip, DJ Pooh, Arthur Baker, Questlove, DJ Toot, Moleman, Edan, David Banner, Eminem, DJ Honda, DJ Unique, Eddie F, Madlib, Melman, and Jam Master Jay.
Bebop's Live Convention 79 was hip-hop's first live album. It was recorded at the Jamaica Queens Armory in 1979 and was released in 1980 by Soul on Wax Records. Side 1 featured the visionary rhymes of two of the men that helped coin the term hip-hop, DJ Hollywood and Eddie Chiba. Side 2 featured hip-hop's first great DJ, Grandmaster Flash, and hip-hop's first great MC, Curtis Blow, together at the Armory, rocking the house.
Many people ask the question, is hip-hop dead?
Hip-hop is alive and well. Hip-hop lives in Rio, Brazil, Dublin, Ireland, Seoul, South Korea, Ontario, Canada.
Hip-hop is worldwide, so let's pay homage to the classics. Paul Wall, Project Pat, M.O.P., MC Light, Ant Banks, Victor Vaughn, Professor Griff, LL Scratch, Funkmaster Flex, and Big Cat, Chingy, Manny Fresh, Lloyd Banks, Corrupt, Foxy Brown, Fat Joe, Remy Ma, Ying Yang Twins, Patchy, Lost Boys, Gangsta Pat, Diamond D, Crooked Letters, Pastor Troy, the Wee Papa Girls, the Conscious Daughters, LL Cool J, Freeway, South Central Cartel, Gangstar, Too Short, Main Source, Memphis Bleak, Eazy-E, Little Brother, Method Man, Stereo MCs, Miss Melody, Prince Paul, Joe Budden, JT the Bigger Figure, Souls of Mischief, Fearless 4, Young Buck, Birdman and Lil Wayne, Shine, Just Ice, AZ.
Digging in the crates, one-on-one.
When we dig in the crates and discover new music through the art of sampling, it connects us to music artists of yesterday, like Willie Hutch, who was sampled by Outkast, and Sylvia Strickland, who was sampled by Junior Mafia, and David McCallum, who was sampled by Dr. Dre.
Paying homage to the hip-hop classic.
Master P, Shaheem, Ice Cube, Kanye West, The Firm, Queen Pen, Big Noise, Showbiz and AG, MC Hammer, Heavy D, Curtis Blow, Compton's Most Wanted, DMX, State Property, Black Eyed Peas, 8 Ball and MJG, Cool Breeze, Jim Jones, Lil Bow Wow, Fat Joe, Cellar Dwellers, Slick Rick, Above the Law, Lil Jon and the Eastsiders, The Game, Kid and Play, PM Don, the DOC, the Almighty RSO, Foxy Brown, Shauna, Black Sheep, PD Pablo, Dies Effect, Whistle, A Tribe Called Quest, Young Dro, Hurricane Chris, MC Breed, The Far Side, MC Shane, USDA, Vanilla Ice, T.I.
Hip-hop soul.
Believe it or not, there was once a time when rappers and soul singers didn't want to have anything to do with each other. Because soul singers thought rappers were too hard, and rappers thought soul singers were too soft. But then everything changed with the invention of hip-hop soul.
Ever since hip-hop was invented, it borrowed heavily from soul music. So it was only a matter of time before hip-hop would turn around and begin to influence that from which it came. One of the earliest examples of hip-hop influencing soul music was when Ralph Tresvant of the legendary boy band New Edition dropped a hot 8 bars on the 1984 pop classic Cool It Now. Not only was this one of the first examples of hip-hop soul, but it was also one of the first times that rap music was played on mainstream radio. In the 1980s, a new math equation was discovered in the music world. Hip-hop plus soul equals success.
Shortly after that came the arrival of a true production genius named Teddy Riley. Riley was the leader of the legendary soul group Guy. But he too began making major strides in the evolution of hip-hop soul by incorporating his signature New Jack swing into the music of every group from Heavy D and the Boys to Rex and Effect.
Another important link to the Teddy Riley story is Andre Harrell. Harrell is a music industry titan who broke into the game as one half of the legendary 80s rap duo Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. In 1987, Harrell hired a then unknown Sean Diddy Combs as his assistant and launched his legendary Uptown record label.
En Vogue were the first artists to fuse hip-hop with the 60s girl group sound. And on their 1990 debut, Born to Sing, they connected the musical lineage of classic Motown acts like the Supremes and Martha and the Vandellas to the modern-day legends like TLC and Destiny's Child.
But there was no one who would revolutionize the fusion of hip-hop soul like Mary J. Blige. Blige is the undisputed queen of hip-hop soul, and along with producer extraordinaire Sean Puffy Combs, she created the genre's definitive masterpiece with her landmark sophomore album, My Life. Its innovative use of samples by soul giants like Curtis Mayfield, Barry White, Roy Ayers, Isaac Hayes, and Al Green made it a major influence on most of the soul and pop artists that followed, like Erykah Badu, who sampled Soul Man and the Brothers for her 2000 hit Bag Lady, or John Legend, who sampled the Staple Singers classic Let's Do It Again for his song Number One, or Jill Scott, who sampled jazz artist Mo Kaufman for one of her earliest classics, Slowly, Surely. Over the last decade, hip-hop has influenced many styles of music, including gospel, rock, the blues, jazz, reggae, and country.
Wait a second, did you say country music?
Yes, it's true. Hip-hop has even influenced country music, and the leading purveyors of this new country rap sound are Nashville superstars Big and Rich. In 2007, group member John Rich teamed up with hip-hop icon Wyclef Jean and wrote the landmark song Please Man, which was recognized as one of the first real examples of country hip-hop fusion.
Coming up, their albums 21 through 30. But before we get back into the list, let's pay some more homage.
Jackie O, Cormega, Immortal Technique, Analog Brothers, Mike Jones, Camp Low, Tila, Roots Maneuver, Cannibal Ox, The Beastie Boys, Guilty Simpson, Crime Boss, L7 and Esoteric, Strong Arm Steady, Choclair, Percy P, Cunning Linguist, Count Bass D.
Number 21, Slick Rick, The Great Adventures of Slick Rick, 1988.
The Great Adventures of Slick Rick is one of the most innovative lyrical masterpieces to emerge from hip-hop's golden age. Slick Rick's vivid tales of sex, street life, love, and fashion defined the storytelling rap style later used by icons like the notorious B.I.G., Snoop Dogg, and Outkast. And his smooth British flow gave hip-hop its first dose of international flavor.
Number 22, DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince, He's the DJ, I'm the Rapper, 1988.
He's the DJ, I'm the Rapper helped to further push hip-hop into the world of mainstream pop, and it's where DJ Jazzy Jeff and Will Smith, then known as the Fresh Prince, created the funny, parent-friendly songs that made hip-hop more accessible to the youth.
Number 23, Too Short, Life is Too Short, 1988.
Life is Too Short is a pioneering masterpiece of West Coast hip-hop, and it single-handedly opened the door to Bay Area rap legends like Spice One, E40, and E.A. Ski. These X-rated songs about sex, cocaine, and pimp culture became an immediate driving force on hip-hop's underground, and they made Too Short one of the most controversial rap artists of the decade.
Number 24, Queen Latifah, All Hail the Queen, 1989.
All Hail the Queen was the greatest female solo hip-hop masterpiece of the 80s, and Queen Latifah's powerful lyrics about women's rights and male chauvinism made her a guidepost for every legendary MC from Sister Souljah to Lauryn Hill. This album also featured the groundbreaking production of Mark the 45 King, who fused the hip-hop sound with everything from jazz and reggae to R&B and house music.
Number 25, De La Soul, 3 Feet High and Rising, 1989.
On 3 Feet High and Rising, De La Soul defined the sound of alternative hip-hop with a new bohemian style that was pro-peace, anti-drugs, and anti-bling. And their producer, Prince Paul, introduced a new psychedelic brand of hip-hop that featured obscure rock samples and the unprecedented use of interludes.
Number 26, Ice Cube, America's Most Wanted, 1990.
America's Most Wanted spearheaded the early 90s West Coast hip-hop explosion that spawned such subsequent solo masterpieces as The Chronic, Doggy Style, and All Eyes on Me. But it was Ice Cube's uncompromising tales of racism, sex, crime, and politics that made him the highly controversial new king of rap.
Number 27, A Tribe Called Quest, The Low End Theory, 1991.
The Low End Theory created the perfect marriage of hip-hop and jazz. And when A Tribe Called Quest combined the obscure jazz samples of artists like Grant Green and Weather Report with their uplifting messages of peace and positivity, they helped to take hip-hop into a more artistic direction.
Number 28, Scarface, Mr. Scarface is Back, 1991.
Mr. Scarface is Back is the definitive Southern gangster rap album, and it was Scarface's graphic rhymes about the dangers of the Texas drug trade that made this album a huge influence on fellow Southern rap pioneers like UGK and 8 Ball and MJG.
Number 29, Cypress Hill, self-titled, 1991.
Cypress Hill was the first Latino hip-hop masterpiece to garner worldwide success, and it's where Be Real and Sin Dog introduced the pro-marijuana lyrics that made hip-hop more appealing to 90s alternative rock fans. The album's producer, DJ Muggs, also proved that he was ahead of his time by creating the slow-rolling stoner beats that served as a precursor to the G-Funk of artists like Dr. Dre and Warren G.
Number 30, Dr. Dre, The Chronic, 1992.
The Chronic was the West Coast hip-hop album of the decade, and more than any other album, it made Suge Knight's legendary Death Row record label a household name. Dr. Dre's potent mix of marijuana references, LA gang life, and George Clinton samples created a whole new style of hip-hop called G-Funk. And he also introduced the world to the slick rhymes of a then unknown 19-year-old future rap icon named Snoop Doggy Dogg. Fresh.
Legendary hip-hop producers. Pete Rock, Prince Paul, Jazzy Faye, Ski, Diddy, Blockhead, Trackmasters, Just Blaze, Black Milk, DJ Shadow, Salam Remy, Eric Sermon, Jazzy Jeff, Carlos Brody, Knots, Swizz Beats, The Large Professor, Ty Fife, Manny Fresh, Lord Finesse, Polo the Don, Oh No, Teddy Riley, DJ Paul and Juicy J, Herbalizer, Jake One, Eric B, Heatmakers, J Rawls, and Rashad Smith.
Who was the first hip-hop artist to make a national TV appearance?
Curtis Blow was the first hip-hop artist to make a national television appearance on Soul Train in 1980.
And now 30 years later, everybody around the world is watching hip-hop on TV.
(1983) Graffiti Rock.
Graffiti Rock was the first nationally televised show dedicated to hip-hop culture. It was created and hosted by the legendary Michael Holden, and although it only lasted one episode, it opened the door for every hip-hop television show that followed.
1984 Video Music Box.
Video Music Box was the first television show to play hip-hop music videos, and it was the first video program to feature nearly all African American music. It was created and hosted by Uncle Ralph McDaniels and Lionel Vid Kid Martin, and it aired on New York public television station, WNYC.
1988, Yo MTV Raps.
Yo MTV Raps was the show that took hip-hop to the largest music television network in the world. It was hosted by Fab Five Freddy and the team of Dr. Dre and Ed Lover. And it featured music videos, interviews, and live performances from legends of the Golden Age.
1989, Rap City.
Rap City was the first hip-hop show to air on BET, Black Entertainment Television, and it celebrated the music of the biggest hip-hop names of the 90s. The show ran for over 10 years, and it was hosted by legends like Chris Thomas, Joe Clair, Big Laz, and Big Tigger.
1990, Pump It Up.
Pump It Up was the first nationally syndicated music video program to air from Los Angeles, California. The show was produced by the Fox Network, and it made Dee Barnes the first woman to host her own hip-hop television show.
106 in Park, 2000.
106 in Park was the #1 rated hip-hop program on television at the turn of the century. The show has been hosted by such legendary teams as Free and AJ, Tigger and Jaleesa, and Terrence and Roxy. And it served as TV's most popular source for hip-hop culture between the years of 2000 and 2014.
Is hip-hop dead?
Hip-hop is alive and well. Hip-hop lives in Paris, France, in Rome, Italy, in Amsterdam, Holland, in Kingston, Jamaica.
Hip-hop is worldwide, so let's pay homage to the classics. Sweet T, The Lynch Mob, MC Ren, Helter Skelter, Obi Trice, John Forte, Skills, Soul Assassins, Tim Dog, Yo-Yo, Joel Santana, Redman, Fatal, Lil Flip, Lil Wayne, Heavy D and the Boys, J Live, DJ Clue, The Band, Kid Capri, Run DMC, Ghetto Boys, Cool G Rap and DJ Polo, Del the Funky Homo Sapien, Mobb Deep, MC Hammer, Public Enemy, Afro Man, QB's Finest, Common, Jay-Z, KMD, Boys in the Hood, Fabulous, Juvenile, Bahama Deer, Def Jeff, T.I., Third Base, LL Cool J, Dungeon Family, The Beastie Boys, Timbaland and Magoo, Lil Troy, Birdman, Black Moon, Crucial Conflict, The Lady of Rage, The Black Eyed Peas, Eve.
Who were the first hip-hop artists to win a Grammy Award?
The first hip-hop artist to win a Grammy with DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince for their 1988 hit, Parents Just Don't Understand.
Paying homage to the hip-hop classic.
Digital Underground, Nonchalant, Ja Rule, Capadonna, Pete Rock and CL Smooth, Lords of the Underground, Latrim, Irv Gotti, Onyx, 3 Times Dope, Cain and Abel, Disturbing the Peace, Sauce Money, Crew, D12, Clips, BWP, Keith Murray, 69 Boys, Soulja Slim, Raheem, Ice Cube, CPO, Scarface, Nori, Nas, The Fooshnickens, OC, Cool G Rap and DJ Polo, Kool Moe D, WC, The Artifacts, Death Row, DJ Red Alert, Poor Righteous Teachers, Cypress Hill, Rough Rider, Sir Mix-a-Lot, Lil Romeo, The Locks, 504 Boys, Loon, Big Timers, 50 Cent, Redman, Peaches, Jazz-O, K-Solo, Violators, Nice and Smooth.
Who was the first hip-hop artist to release 2 #1 albums in the same year?
DMX was the first hip-hop artist to release 2 #1 albums in the same year. He did it in 1998 with the 2 masterpieces, It's Dark and Hell is Hot, and Flesh of My Flesh, Blood of My Blood.
But 2 years prior, the late great Tupac Shakur did it posthumously in 1996 with the release of All Eyes on Me and Machiavelli, which was released 2 months after his death.
Coming up, here are albums 31 through 40. But before we get back into the list, let's pay some more homage.
Buck 6'5", Snap, Chill Rob G, Flip Mode Squad, Gray Skull, Army of the Pharaohs, Brother Ali, Planet Asia, MIA, Swollen Members, Lewis Logic and JJ Brown, Will Smith, Edan, Dilated Peoples, Flow Rider, Casual, Do or Die, Little Mama, Saphir, Gold Money, Jedi Mind Trick.
Number 31, Gangstar, Daily Operation, in 1992.
Daily Operation is the landmark album that helped to define both underground hip-hop and jazz hip-hop fusion, and its intelligent, streetwise boom-bap sound established the Guru and DJ Premier as the most important MC-DJ team of the 90s.
Number 32, the Wu-Tang Clan, Enter the Wu-Tang 36 Chambers, 1993.
Enter the Wu-Tang 36 Chambers spearheaded the 90s New York hardcore hip-hop rebirth that produced icons like Nas, the notorious B.I.G, Mobb Deep, and Jay-Z. And by combining the RZA's sinister soul sound with martial art movie samples and Staten Island street slang, the Wu proved that they were a hip-hop supergroup without parallel.
Number 33, Snoop Doggy Dogg, Doggy Style, 1993.
Doggy Style was the most highly anticipated hip-hop release of the decade, and as a result, it became the first debut album in music history to enter the Billboard music charts at number 1. On this Dr. Dre produced G-Funk masterpiece, Snoop used his signature Cali drawl to make his the most instantly recognizable voice in all of hip-hop music. And his slick rhymes about girls, gangs, and marijuana helped to make street life a permanent part of mainstream popular culture.
Number 34, 8 Ball and MJG, Coming Out Hard, 1993.
Coming Out Hard is a pioneering masterpiece of Southern hip-hop, and it's where 8 Ball and MJG introduced the hardcore pimped-out rhymes and the rapid-fire flow that made them one of the most innovative rap duos in the history of the genre. The album's legendary pen and pixel cover art was also hugely influential, and it made Coming Out Hard the most imitated album cover of the 90s.
Number 35, Nas, Illmatic, 1994.
On Illmatic, Queensbridge native Nasty Nas delivered what most people considered the best hip-hop lyrical performance of the 90s. And with his poetic rhymes about everything from street life to social awareness, he struck the perfect balance between hardcore hip-hop and conscious rap. This masterpiece was equally celebrated for gathering hip-hop's first all-star production team of DJ Premier, Pete Rock, Q-Tip, and The Large Professor.
Number 36, Notorious B.I.G, Ready to Die, 1994.
Ready to Die was the East Coast hip-hop album of the decade, and it marked the first time that New York gangsta rap enjoyed massive commercial success. On this Street Hustler soundtrack, Biggie introduced the cinematic stories and the metaphorical genius that made him a guidepost for every New York hip-hop icon from Jay-Z to 50 Cent. And this album also made Sean Puffy Combs' legendary Bad Boy record label one of the biggest brands in all of entertainment.
Number 37, Mobb Deep, The Infamous, 1995.
The Infamous is one of the most important landmarks in the history of gangsta rap music, and it's where Havoc and Prodigy used dark tales of murders, stick-ups, prison bids, and hood beefs to draw a blueprint for countless East Coast duos, including legends like Capone and Noriega and the Clips.
Number 38, Tupac, All Eyes on Me, 1996.
The aptly titled All Eyes on Me was Tupac Shakur's magnum opus, and it cemented his legacy as the most influential solo rapper of all time. This explosive double album masterpiece about thug life, sex, fame, fortune, loyalty, and betrayal also made Pac the most highly scrutinized hip-hop artist of his generation.
Number 39, Lil' Kim, Hardcore, 1996.
Hardcore defined the female gangsta rap movement that produced legendary artists like Mia X, Trina, and Gangsta Boo. and its risque mix of street codes and pornographic sexual imagery made Lil' Kim one of the most controversial women in the history of the genre.
Number 40, Jay-Z, Reasonable Doubt, 1996.
On Reasonable Doubt, Jay-Z created a semi-autobiographical concept album about the life of a young Brooklyn kingpin. And in the process, he ushered in the bling rap era and positioned himself to become arguably the most dominant MC of all time. This album also marked the birth of the legendary Rockefeller record label that later spawned such hip-hop giants as Kanye West and Beanie Siegel.
Legendary hip-hop producers. Dallas Austin, DJ Clark Kent, 88 Keys, KLC, Mark Ronson, Drummer Boy, RJD2, Showbiz, Static Selector, Godfather Don, DR Period, Mr. C, Nicolay, Ron Browse, DJ Spinner, Zaytoven, Justice League, Stimulated Dummies, Shawty Red, Scram Jones, Don Cannon, Boy Wonder, Stoop, the world famous Beat Junkies.
Mr. Magic.
Mr. Magic is the godfather of hip-hop radio. His groundbreaking show Rap Attack was the first all-hip-hop program ever to air on a major radio station. The show ran on New York's WBLS FM from 1983 to 1989. And it paved the way for every hip-hop radio show that followed.
Is hip-hop dead?
Hip-hop is alive and well. Hip-hop lives in Los Angeles, California, in Miami, Florida, in Chicago, Illinois, in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, in New Orleans, Louisiana.
Hip-hop is worldwide, so let's pay homage to the classics. Salt and Pepper, Master Ace, JJ Fad, MC Solar, Nikki D, Dizzy Rascal, Domino, Exhibit, Nas, Young Berg, Dead Prez and the Outlaws, Big Pun, Leaders of the New School, Arabian Prince, Stats-A-Sonic, J. Rue Damager, Heather B, Paris, Moni Love, Big L, Nappy Roots, Wyclef Jean, Redhead Kingpin, Bone Thugs and Harmony, Soulja Boy, Edo G, Bone Crusher, The Dogs, Common, Magic, Terror Squad, Tupac, MC Shy D, MC Chill, Smith & Wesson, Raekwon the Chef.
Digging in the crates, one-on-one.
When we dig in the crates and discover new music through the art of sampling, it connects us to music artists of yesterday. Gang Starr sampled Jean-Jacques Perry on their classic song, Just to Get a Rep. Kanye West and Jamie Foxx sampled Ray Charles on their hit song, Gold Digger. Black Moon sampled Ronnie Laws on the classic song, Who Got the Props.
Paying homage to the hip-hop classics.
The Mad Rapper, Player Circle, Raw Digger, The Loonies, Princess Superstar, Screwball, Mash Out Posse, Ahmad, Thug Life, Slum Village, Missy Elliott, Schoolie D, D-Nice, Busta Rhymes, DJ Quick, Saint Lunatic, Nucleus, Frankie Smith, Eric B and Rakim, Chubb Rock, Lil C's, Bubba Sparks, Young and Restless, Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch, Coolio, Neptunes, Mac 10, Blondie, Curious, Boss, Warren G, E40, Old Dirty Bastard, Harlem World, Sporty Thieves, Dana Dane, Lady Sovereign, Mims, DJ Cool, MC Trouble, Be Legit, Field Mob, DJ Pool, Jay-Z.
Hip-hop DJs.
Hip-hop DJs rock the party, and they collectively serve as the blood that runs through the music's veins. Hip-hop DJs are everywhere. You can find them spinning behind MCs, performing live mixes on the radio, rocking clubs and house parties, and feeding us a steady diet of mixtapes. So today, we salute the millions of hip-hop DJs worldwide for keeping us in the mix.
Who invented scratching?
The guy that invented scratching? That's the living legend, DJ Grand Wizard Theodore.
Is hip-hop dead?
Hip-hop is alive and well. Hip-hop lives in the Mecca City where it all started from, New York, New York. Hip-hop is in Atlanta, Georgia. Hip-hop is in Memphis, Tennessee. Hip-hop is in Detroit, Michigan. Hip-hop lives in Houston, Texas.
Hip-hop is worldwide, so let's pay homage to the classics. DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince, Rick Ross, K9 Posse, Fiend, Jermaine Dupri, Alcoholics, Sugar Hill Gang, Living Off Experience, Downtown Science, The Jizza, EPMD, Pete Rock, Killer Priest, Chameleonaire, Puff Daddy, Audio 2, Eric B and Rakim, Poison Clan, Craig G, Breeze, Junior Mafia, The Hot Boys, The Real Roxanne, King T, Underground Kings, Cameron, Nature, Schoolie D, UMCs, The Beatnuts, Nina Cherry, Lil Boosie, n.w.a, Capone and Noriega, Silk Smooth, Master Ace, UTFO, Plies, Lil Scrappy, King Son, Bobby Jimmy and the Critters, Marley Marl, Davey D, Rex and Effect, G-Dep, Finesse and Sequence, Major Figures, Tony Yayo, Ghostface Killer, Tone Loc.
What was the first hip-hop album to reach platinum status?
The first hip-hop album to reach platinum status was the 1986 Run-DMC masterpiece, Raising Hell. It received its official certification July 15, 1986.
Paying homage to the hip-hop classic.
Young Black Teenagers, Two Live Crew, A Tribe Called Quest, Granddaddy IU, Rich Boy, JVC Crew, Jay-Z, Organized Confusion, Ja Rule, Kwame, Insane Clown Posse, Ice-T, Special Ed, TRU, Jay Dilla, Antoinette, Father MC, Naughty by Nature, The Streets, Tupac, C Murder, Goody Mob, Sir Mix-a-Lot, E40, Original Concept, Outkast, Chino XL, Salt and Pepper, Nick Cannon, Big Pun, No Face, DJ K Slay, Public Enemy, J.O. Felony, Lil Wayne, Roxanne Shante, Black Star, Jungle Brothers, Twister, AMG, Skinny Boys, Lil Kim, Chris Cross, Lupe Fiasco, Lauryn Hill, Family, Gucci Crew 2. What was the first hip-hop group to sign with a major label?
The Fearless Four were the first hip-hop group to sign with a major record label. And in 1983, Elektra Records released their classic debut EP, Problems of the World Today.
Legendary hip-hop producers. Easy LP, Sam Seaver, Danger, J.R. Rodham, DJ Crush, Sha Money, will.i.am, Battle Cat, DJ Quick, Mantronics, Organized Noise, Curtis Blow, Donnie Scamps, Bax One, Dame Grease, Russell Simmons, Superfly, Missy Elliott, Sylvia Robinson, Mike Elizondo, Larry Smith, The R, Brian Michael Cox, Carlos Stevens, Playing Skills, Aguilar, Memphis, Mike Dean, Lex Luger, Dan the Automator, and countless others.
Hip-hop brings home the Oscar Award.
We salute 3 6 Mafia for being the first and only African-American group in music history to win an Academy Award. 3 6 Mafia took home the Oscar statues for Best Original Song in 2006 for It's Hard Out Here for a Pimp.
Coming up, here are albums number 41 through 50. But before we get back into the list, let's pay some more homage.
Rasco, Pitbull, Cannabis, Black Milk, Positive K, Sage Francis, Alpha Ra, Modest Yahoo, The High and Mighty, Sister Soldier, Dark Leaf, Black Alicious, Georgia Ann Muldrow and Dudley Perkins, Mia X, Mr. Lift.
Number 41, The Fugees, The Score, 1996.
The Score marked the point where alternative hip-hop reached the height of its commercial success, and by combining conscious rap with elements of soul, reggae, and new age, the Fugees expanded hip-hop's musical boundaries. This album was equally important for launching the legendary solo careers of Lauryn Hill and Wyclef Jean.
Number 42, Missy Elliott, Super Duper Fly, 1997.
On Super Duper Fly, Missy Misdemeanor Elliott revolutionized female hip-hop with a futuristic rap style that was catchy, quirky, funny, sexy, and simplistic. This is also where her partner, Timbaland, would use his groundbreaking drum and bass production to reshape the sound of late 90s hip-hop, pop, and R&B.
Number 43, DMX, It's Dark and Hell is Hot, 1998.
It's Dark and Hell is Hot is one of the top gangster rap albums of the 90s, and its themes of street reality and spiritual struggle established DMX as the first dominant hardcore hip-hop artist to emerge in the wake of Tupac Shakur's death. This album also marked the birth of the legendary Rough Riders record label, and it introduced the music of production giants like Dame Grease and Swizz Beatz.
Number 44, The Roots, Things Fall Apart, 1999.
Things Fall Apart is the most innovative hip-hop album ever recorded by a band. Its visionary sound introduced live musicianship to a genre then mostly dominated by samples, and its message of strength, brotherhood, music, and unity made Black Thought one of the forerunners of alternative hip-hop's second wave.
Number 45, Outkast, Stankonia, 2000.
Stankonia is the album that put the legendary ATL hip-hop scene on the world stage, and it's where Big Boy and Andre 3000 used funk, electro-pop, and highly cerebral lyrics to cement their new position as hip-hop's preeminent duo.
Number 46, Eminem, The Marshall Mathers LP, 2000.
The Marshall Mathers LP marked the first time that a white artist dominated the genre of hip-hop. Its unparalleled mainstream appeal made it the fastest-selling platinum hip-hop album of all time, and its trademark blend of humor, introspection, and shock established Eminem as arguably the most important hip-hop artist of the decade.
Number 47, Nelly, Country Grammar, 2000.
On Country Grammar, Nelly and producer J.E. ushered in a new millennium pop rap sound that paved the way for future crossover classics like The Carter 3, Paper Trail, and The Recession. And its massive commercial success single-handedly put Midwestern hip-hop on the map.
Number 48, Common, Like Water for Chocolate, 2000.
Like Water for Chocolate is the album most responsible for pushing underground hip-hop into the mainstream. Its positive jazz soul sound captured Common at the peak of his genius, and it served as a guidepost for future Chi-Town giants like Kanye West and Lupe Fiasco.
Number 49,
50 Cent, Get Rich or Die Trying, 2003.
Get Rich or Die Trying was the most influential New York hip-hop masterpiece this side of Jay-Z's blueprint. And when 50 Cent paired his hardcore tales of guns, drugs, and money with the legendary production of Eminem and Dr. Dre, he reinvigorated a gangster rap movement that had become a parody of itself.
Number 50, Kanye West, The College Dropout, 2004.
On The College Dropout, Kanye West used his flamboyant persona and songs about everything from strippers to Jesus Christ to cement his place as the millennium's most celebrated new MC. And by sampling icons like Luther Vandross and Shaka Khan, he reintroduced a soulful style of production that nearly fell silent during the era of keyboard beats.
Is hip-hop dead?
Absolutely not. Hip-hop lives in Haiti, Cuba, Puerto Rico, the Dominican Republic, and hip-hop lives in my hometown, Baltimore, Maryland.
E. Watts, Rico Reed, KG, Lil Scooter, Comp, 100 Grand Man, Caddy the Don, Chino, Boss Man, Hoolie Shalom, Maniac Dre, Free Bands Test, Backlund, Scar Akbar, Mully Man, Young Moose, King Los, Tim Trees, Smash, T-Mac, D-Boy, FMG Ball, Blue Benjamin Boys, GGL Slick, Creek Boys, Law X, Tate Cobain, Teflon Dons, YBS Scola, President Davo, Law Izzy, GMG Tato, Prophet, Peso the Mafia, YGG Tate, Shy Money, Lord Jug, Lil Stacks, YG Tech, Lil Mighty, G Baby, and we salute all of the soldiers and soldierettes that's making hip-hop music in Baltimore City. Rest in peace to the club queen, K Swift.
We salute the pioneers of Baltimore hip-hop.
Your Rollin' Doo-Doo by Two Hype Brothers and the Dog was the album that paved the way for Baltimore hip-hop in the 90s, and it launched the career of legendary radio personality Frank Ski. Our Time Has Come by the New Marks was the album that paved the way for Baltimore hip-hop in the 80s, and it launched the career of legendary record executive Kevin Liles. Mind Your Business by Sweet Cookie was the first hip-hop album recorded by a woman in Baltimore City. Her groundbreaking 1987 debut predated that of such female pioneers as MC Lyte and Queen Latifah. And last but not least, we salute the fathers of Baltimore hip-hop, the We Rock crew. Jeffrey G, Terry T, and Universe gave birth to Baltimore hip-hop with the landmark 1984 single, Rockin' Fresh. Hip-hop is worldwide, so let's pay homage to the classics. T-La Rock, Kid Cudi, Bun B, Love Bug Starsky, Asher Raw, Marley Marl, C Murder, Michael Franti and Spearhead, Roughtown Mob, Terminology, Trouble Funk, Lotta Dark Man, Lords of the Underground, Illa J, Super Lover C and Casanova Rudd, Rhyme Fest, Symphonic Evolution, Freddie Fox, Beck, Twin Hype, Egyptian Lover, Prize, Trick Daddy, Poetic Hustlers, Cowboy Troy, Maestro Fresh West, Rappin' Duke, OJ the Juice Man, Shazzy, John Cena, Rocco, Massive Attack, Huey, Kid Flash, Will I Am, Top Quality, Eagle Nebulous, Rock Shot, Psycho Realm, Don Barron, Beanie Siegel, Angie Martinez, The Hot Boys, LA Dream Team, Roxanne Shante and Sparky D, Kids in the Hall, Channel Live, Nelly, Ace Hood, Illegal, Bismarck, Roll Flush, Son of Berserk.
Fresh.
What are the 5 greatest proto-rap albums of all time?
Long before the music world heard of names like Lil' Kim and Kanye West, there were visionary artists like Gil Scott-Heron and Nikki Giovanni, who used the spoken word to pave the way for all modern-day rappers. We will now pay homage to the 5 greatest proto-rap albums ever made.
Number 1, Gil Scott-Heron, Small Talk at 125th and Lenox, 1970.
Gil Scott-Heron paved the way for hip-hop artists like Public Enemy with groundbreaking songs about racism, oppression, and revolution.
Number 2, Rudy Ray Moore, Eat Out More Often, 1970.
Rudy Ray Moore paved the way for hip-hop artists like Two Live Crew with his groundbreaking blend of comedy and sexually explicit lyrics.
Number 3, Nikki Giovanni, Truth Is On His Way, 1971.
Nikki Giovanni paved the way for hip-hop artists like Lauryn Hill with groundbreaking songs about civil rights, oppression, and spirituality.
Number 4, The Last Poets, This Is Madness, 1971.
The Last Poets paved the way for hip-hop artists like Common with groundbreaking songs about racism, drug abuse, and oppression.
Number 5, Lightning Rod, Hustlers Convention, 1973.
Lightning Rod paved the way for hip-hop artists like n.w.a. with groundbreaking songs about street life and hustlers.
Fresh.
Hip-hop beefs.
Never forget the lessons taught to us by Biggie and Pop.
Never forget, if we hate one another, that's self-destruction.
Never forget, we must love one another because we're all in the same gang.
Rest in peace to the notorious B.I.G. and Tupac.
Fresh.
Paying homage to the hip-hop classics.
Cade, Diggable Planets, Young Guns, Gucci Mane, G-Unit, Steezo, Drama, Jadakiss, Creep Dog, Killer Mike, Royce the 5'9", The Far Side, Willie D, Ja Rule, Shorty Low, The Cool, Westside Connection, Cool Kid, Mac, Cool C, Styles P, Marco Polo and Torre, Pimp C, Chi Ali, Necro, Young Jeezy, Alliance, Sound Control Mob, Emil, Grave Diggers, Sheik Luch, Lil Kim, Intelligent Hoodlum, Gorilla Zoe, Fergie, DJ Khaled, G-Love and Special Sauce, Perceptionist, Queen Latifah, Twister and the Speed Knot Mobsters,
b.i.g, 3-6 Mafia, Lil Brother, Trick, Mac Mall, Rick Ross, Tony Touch, Jean Grey, Michael Myers, Cardinal Official, The Truth, Kid Frost.
Who is the most influential person in hip-hop history?
Russell Simmons is the most influential person in the history of hip-hop music, and he is one of the greatest visionaries in American entertainment. His first big break came in 1980 when he negotiated hip-hop's first major label deal between Curtis Blow and Mercury Records. Next, he launched his Rush Management production company, signed his younger brother's group Run-DMC, and introduced hip-hop culture to the world. After masterminding the worldwide success of Run-DMC, he then teamed up with pop music icon Rick Rubin and co-founded the legendary Def Jam recording label, which introduced artists like LL Cool J, the Beastie Boys, DMX, and Jay-Z, as well as renowned industry execs Leora Cohen and Kevin Loud. Since then, Russell has ventured beyond the realm of music, building a worldwide media conglomerate that has produced major motion pictures like Crush Groove, The Nutty Professor, Gridlock, and How to Be a Player, as well as groundbreaking television shows like HBO's Def Jam Comedy and HBO's Def Poetry. Russell even became a major force in the fashion world with his Fat Farm clothing and its popular offshoot, Baby Fat, which was co-founded by former wife Kimora Lee. These days, Russell uses his Hip Hop Summit Action Network to address issues like poverty, economic revitalization, war, and the worldwide AIDS/HIV crisis. We salute Mr. Russell Simmons for his incalculable influence on hip-hop culture. It's 2010, and hip-hop is 30 years old. What an amazing journey it has been. In the year of this anniversary, we've watched a hip-hop prodigy rise up from a New Orleans ghetto and become the hottest hip-hop star on the planet. And we've watched a once-in-a-lifetime lyrical genius define the word prolific. We've witnessed the Dirty South put a stranglehold on the industry after years of domination by the East Coast and the West Coast. We've watched hip-hop become colorless, borderless, and genderless. We've watched hip-hop represent everything from street life to business life to family life. And we've watched hip-hop produce doctors and cultural icons. And it's funny, because I remember back in the day, most of the critics said that hip-hop was just another passing fad. But common sense should have told them that hip-hop was not only here to stay, but here to take over the world.
I'm get out here, it's hot. Get this sweat. My ears on fire.
Don't worry about me.
I'm hot.
I know.
It's the last one, please. I'm on fire. Y'all better stop playing hot as I am.
1995. You understand what I'm talking about?
God. That was the remix. You had the show. Oh, God. Wait a minute, number 22. All right, yeah, this is okay. I got it now. I forgot Escape. Oh yeah. Oh no.
The first hip hop.
Number 8. No, I'm not ready.
Number 8.
I'm sorry, hold up. The Planet. The album, no. The Planet. They got it. Planet Rock. One more time. Good Lord. The Planet Rock. It was my bad. And Sonic Force. Did everybody pick the song or was it just me? Okay. Didn't
you say Boogie Down Productions, Kara Swan?
Kara Swan was a rapper in the first Boogie Down Productions.
Oh, okay.
There was Philadelphia's ladies.
That's all right, baby.
Tanea, don't look at her, please.
Oh, see, I got it to the rest. I was ready.
Eminem.
Cut. Don't worry about it.
Wow, style. Can't do it again. Is that all he wants me to say, right? That's it. That's all. Wow, style.
Oh, what was that again?
96. Oh. 1997. 1991. Alright. Hardcore 19. See? Hardcore 19.
That's all right, baby.
Let's tell me again one more time. 96, 96. Who's I doing in 96? Hardcore 19. Hardcore 1996. Do it again.
Hey, Mo, you gotta close the door. Let it sink in.
48. Give it. I have to say number. Number 10. I got it.
With 39, right?
Queen Latifah. Oh, number 23 first, right? Oh, my bad.
Number what? What? Y'all done messed me up now. I said it good, way.
One of the first rappers, the greatest. Hold up. I got no. Don't say it. Don't say it.
One more time.
Oh, my shit.
Yeah. Sound a little bit straight.
No, that wasn't right.
Yeah, because my face was moving all over the place because I didn't know if he was waving me or who.
No, we sit down.
I wanted to say something. I got gum in my mouth. That's so not cool.
Right, yeah.
It's trash.
Number 3, Nikki Giovanni. Troop is on its way.
How do you want me to hold this thing?
I gotta do that over.
No problem. We're gonna shoot it over.
Okay.
The sequence was a groundbreaking trio.
I got that part. I just on the name.
Yeah.
Gwen Cook, because they're not household names. Cheryl Cook, Gwen Chisholm, and most notable, your soul legend, Angie Stone.
Good year. What's the year?
Look, this is right here. I ain't trying to copy all you know. Number 5, Lightning Rod, Hustlers Convention, 1973.
Okay.
What I'm saying again? Break dancing.
Yeah, break.
No, I'm in practice. Break dancing.
Yo, you digging in, yo.
Yeah, sure.
Dr. Bill Cosby.
Did you know that entertainment icon Dr. Bill Cosby released a hip-hop album in 2009 entitled State of Emergency? The The album featured the introspective rhymes of Jace the Great, Brother Haas, and Supernova Slum, and it warned of the many pitfalls that black men face in America's inner cities.
Dr. Cornel West.
Did you know that Dr. Cornel West released a hip-hop album in 2007 entitled Never Forget, A Journey of Revelations? On this album, Dr. West collaborated with hip-hop giants like KRS-One and Andre 3000, as well as fellow political scholars Dr. Michael Eric Dyson and Tavis Smiley.
Donald Goins.
Donald Goins is the father of the African-American street novel, and his legendary books about ghetto and prison life has had an incalculable influence on hip-hop culture. In 1999, the legendary Chaz Williams released a tribute album for Goins on Black Hen Records titled Black Gangster. This compilation featured classic songs by artists like Jay-Z and 50 Cent before they became music industry juggernauts.
We salute hip-hop's non-musical influences.
We salute Minister Louis Farrakhan on his undying efforts to promote peace and positivity in hip-hop culture. We salute legendary activist Cousin Jeff Johnson for teaching hip-hop's youth the importance of education and responsibility. We salute the father of hip-hop fashion, legendary Harlem, New York stylist Dapper Dan.
What artist made the term rap popular?
The late great Isaac Hayes popularized the word rap with his 1970s classic, Ike's Rap. His groundbreaking spoken word monologues made him one of rap's earliest forefathers, and his music has been sampled by countless hip-hop legends, including Jay-Z, Biz Markie, n.w.a, and Redman.
Here are two spoken word masterpieces that helped plant the seeds for hip-hop.
We salute the greatest African-American poet of all time, Langston Hughes, and his landmark album, The Dream Keeper. On this 1955 spoken word masterpiece, Mr. Hughes delivered the timbre, timing, rhythm, and rhyming that provided the DNA for what we call rap today. We salute the dialect of the Black American. This landmark 1970 spoken word masterpiece was written by Paul K. Winston and produced by Jeffrey Berman, and it is one of the most important documents ever recorded on the subject of Ebonics.
Here are a few more proto-rap masterpieces that are ripe for rediscovery. Presenting The Gary Baird Experience by The Gary Baird Experience. Ghettos of the Mind by Bama the Village Poet. Drumbeat by Jim Ingram. The Blue Gorilla by Kane. Blowfly's Party by Blowfly. Reflections by Iceberg Slim. Together, these albums played an intricate part in the development of hip-hop music.
Hip-hop's non-musical influences.
We salute the founder of BET, Bob Johnson, for his countless contributions to hip-hop culture. We salute the legendary director-producer, Stan Lathan, for his countless contributions to hip-hop culture. We salute the mother of black radio, Kathy Hughes, for her countless contributions to hip-hop culture.
Here are 5 proto-rap pioneers that played an intricate role in the development of female hip-hop: LaWanda Page, Camille Yarbrough, Lady Reed, Wanda Robinson, and Tina Dixon.
Rappers Rap Disco Company.
We salute the first hip-hop record label on the West Coast, the legendary Rappers Rap Disco Company. In 1982, they gave birth to West Coast hip-hop with the release of the landmark single, Gigolo's Rap, by Disco Daddy and Captain Rap.
We salute Rappers Rap Disco Company for giving birth to West Coast hip-hop. But who invented West Coast rap?
The Watts Prophets invented West Coast rap, and their groundbreaking sound has influenced countless Cali hip-hop legends, from Ice Cube to Coolio. The group formed in 1967 at the Watts Writers Workshop in Los Angeles and released 2 landmark proto-rap albums. Their 1969 debut, The Black Voices on the Streets in Watts, and their 1971 masterpiece, Rappin' Black in a White World.
Hip-hop's non-musical influences.
We salute The Source, Vibe, XXL, and all of the many hip-hop magazines published worldwide. We salute the #1 comedian of all time, Richard Pryor, for his tremendous influence on hip-hop culture. We salute H. Rap Brown and the Black Panther Party for being one of hip-hop's greatest influences.
Hip-hop salutes the man who gave us the beat, the late great Bo Diddley.
On his groundbreaking 1955 self-titled debut, he and drummer Jerome Green introduced the primal West African drum patterns that became the foundation of every American music style from rock and roll to hip-hop.
Social activist and death row inmate Mumir Abu-Jamal speaks on hip-hop music and U.S. Homeland Security.
Homeland and hip-hop. To think about the origins of hip-hop in this culture and also about Homeland Security is to see that there are at the very least two worlds in America, one of the well-to-do and another of the struggling. For if ever there was the absence of Homeland Security, it is seen in the gritty roots of hip-hop. For the music arises from the generation that feels with some justice that they have been betrayed by those who came before them, that they are at best tolerated in schools, feared on the streets, and almost inevitably destined for the hellholes of prison. They grow up hungry, hated, and unloved, and this is the psychic fuel that generates the anger that seems endemic in much of the music and poetry. One senses very little hope above the personal goals of wealth to climb above the pit of poverty. Rest in peace to all of hip-hop's fallen soldiers. And rest in peace to all of my homies that helped to make this movie but never got a chance to watch it.
No street guys was harmed in this movie, right? Right?